What's going on, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about me and Husky's first, second, third love, probably somewhere in there, and that is Wipeout.
Yeah.
This is Wipeout Omega collection on the PS4 we both have, and as you can tell by his reaction and mine, this is a series very near and deep to our hearts.
So good. If you're into any kind of anti-gravity racing, arcade racing, F-Zero, this is the jam.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's an F-Zero guy. I kind of turned him on to this, and not that he's a convert now, but this series does rival F-Zero, I feel like, in every way.
Yeah, and you can't, I mean, they surpassed F-Zero. Quit making games. They quit putting stuff out. So Wipeout technically is, of course it's going to be better. They kept going. They never stopped. So
right, and that's kind of like what he's saying. You know, I've got Wipeout on the PS1, Wipeout Fusion on the PS2. I haven't played every iteration of Wipeout ever. I just know I've never played a bad one.
Yeah. Yeah. They're all good. There's nothing bad about it. Matter of fact, the Omega collection that we're talking about today has 3 games in it. You've got the 2048, Wipeout 2048 from PS Vita, and then Wipeout HD and Wipeout HD Fury, which is an expansion on the HD. The HD is what I love. That's my favorite.
That's the one I play the most.
Yeah, it's so good. You go through and do different kinds of games, different kinds of races. You got the time attack, speed laps, and then
you got the battle.
The just one single race, a whole tournament of 4 races.
Right.
Like it's fast, so it's really fun and intense. All the weapons are so killer.
Right, and it'll mess you up too the first time you play it because you're expecting a race. Well, it'll load up into the next race, and if you're not paying attention to the grid that just launched to go to the next race, you're not racing. You have people trying to blow you up. And it's 100% combat. Nobody's trying to win the race per se. They're trying to blow the opponent up the most. So it's crazy. You have time attacks, you have battles, you have straight up races. I mean, it is varied. It's probably I would say it's the deepest racing game out there, because if you get into the NASCAR stuff, it gets crazy.
Yeah.
But this series, this Omega series, or collection that is, it's freaking deep.
It's deep enough. It's to keep you engaged and keep you just. There's so many types of races you can do. You're not just sitting there doing a 4-lap or 3-lap race all day, every day. Like there's fun stuff to do.
It ain't even the race. It's the cars.
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be 100 cars in this thing.
There's tons, maybe more.
I haven't played this game in like 2 months, and we talked about doing a vid for this. And when I launched my game back, I was a decent ways into it. I could not remember what car I was using because I was so overwhelmed with the options. You lose the feel for it. It's like you're learning to walk again or something on this game. Yeah. You have to play it.
You got to keep up, yeah.
You got to run that track over and over and over until you learn all the curves and the nuances of the turns and all that before you start to get up in the ranks.
There's certain boosts you don't need to hit.
Right.
Because you'll just fly off the track. You'll bang into a wall. I did that last night 3 times on one track. My wife's just laughing at me. Like, you don't remember that? Like... Yeah, it's killer, and it's the graphics. It looks so good.
Yeah, it's stunningly gorgeous. I mean, I don't know what resolution this unit's in. I don't know if it's a 4K or whatever, but any way you look at it, it is stunning game to look at.
Yeah, I recommend it to anybody that's into any kind of racing games. I'm sure most people with a PlayStation know Wipeout, but if you don't, that's the one to get and to start with it, especially for modern gaming, modern PS games.
My heart will always be with the original. That was just the one I grew up with. It's still the one I gravitate towards the most. But this game is floaty. You bounce around quite a bit in it. This game is a lot tighter. You have a lot more control on it. But
the controls are really
it'll
tight.
kick your teeth in.
I was telling Matt earlier, like you gotta almost not follow the curve so you can make a sharp turn to make your turn perfect. With your air brakes, you got air brakes just like F-Zero kind of, and you gotta not follow the curve. You gotta go toward, like you're gonna bang into the wall, and then boop, got it. It's tight, super tight.
And like I was saying earlier, I mean, you don't learn all this stuff he's talking about until you've died. You know, you lose, and by the third or fourth time you run a track, you'll get in the top 3 and stuff like that. It's one of those games that it's pleasantly difficult.
Yeah.
You don't mind doing it again.
Yeah, it's challenging yet rewarding. Like it's not challenging like, oh, I've got to do this 13 more times to even get third place. It's just challenging enough to where you got to keep going and make it past that track. And it keeps you coming back.
Well, there's not a whole lot we can really say about this game other than you're doing yourself a disservice by not playing it. So definitely pick it up. As I say with all these stinking videos, it's on the cheap.
It is.
I don't even know if I gave $30 for it like I say in every one of these stinking videos.
I think I gave 20 for my copy.
Yeah, I mean, it is on the cheap. And just to kind of clarify that a lot with us, we buy so many stinking games so often, we have to kind of catch them on the cheap to get all the ones we want.
Yeah.
It's just not like we're cheapskates. It's just, why pay $60 for a game that you know a game like this is going to be 20 in 2 months?
Yeah.
But anyway, we appreciate you guys tuning in. I have not forgotten about Call of Duty. I just figured by now you guys will know we're 100% free of it. And I'll remind you once again, if you want to see country music, right its wrongs, don't support things like Garth Brooks and country music with rap in it. Later.